Washington, the Council on American Islamic Relations works to fight prejudice against Muslims. The group's executive director is Arsalan Bukhari, and he joins us this morning. Good to have you here.
Good morning.
Thanks for your time. So we start with the attack on Charlie Hebdo, and this is something the entire world has paid close attention to. France now taking a hardline stance against extremism, and many of the Western world now kind of running with this, and there's a call to arms, it seems, globally now against radicalism. What's your take on the situation there and what seems to be kind of a growing worldwide movement?
Yeah, so I think the main message we want to get out to the public, and I hope our leadership also does the same, is to remain united. A nation united is stronger than a nation divided. I think we need to be careful when we profile persons. There's been a lot of conversation about people of certain ethnicities and religious backgrounds. What they all have in common, the people who've acted out in France and in the U.S., what they all have in common is the same things that the person who flew the airplane into the IRS building just a couple of years back, or the person who tried to attack the president's family by hopping over the fence into the White House. So there are elements out there. They're lone wolf persons. I think good intelligence will help us hopefully capture people before they do things.
And that, you know, in a nutshell, really is the issue too, because you have these disenfranchised people, and we're seeing two different types of stories like that are evolving in Washington, you know, as we speak. Disenfranchised folks who seem to be encouraged to take action against the government, and you know, it only takes one bad guy to be successful, and it takes, you know, an entire intelligence community to be right every time, everywhere. You know, that's really the issue.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, with freedom of speech comes a lot of responsibility also. There's a lot of conversation out there on the internet. Many people with different ideologies that are against our government, and they're encouraging people to take action against our president, against our government leaders. You saw the attack that was attempted on John Boehner just a few days ago.
Exactly, yeah.
So there's a lot of that out there. I think it's a matter of just staying united as a nation, focusing on behavior, focusing on ideologies, and actions versus people's backgrounds versus their ethnic or religious backgrounds.
So people look at the satirical cartoons that Charlie Hebdo's putting out, and they see it as satire. Sure. Clearly, some people do not think this is funny. We have cartoonists that are in hiding after receiving death threats for depicting the Prophet Muhammad in a certain way. What is the line on that? In fact, the Pope this morning saying that, what did the Pope say exactly? He said there are limits to freedom of expression when religion is insulted. Your take on that?
Well, it's hard to say where the line is. I think we have to be respectful of each other. Again, you know, remaining united as a nation, as a world community. So there has to be a line drawn where I have to say we have to respect each other. We have the right to insult each other, of course, but we have a responsibility to be respectful and to be united and to live peacefully together.
So how do events like what's happening now and what happened in France and has drawn so much attention, what does your organization do to try to stop prejudice against Muslims here locally and around the nation?
Well, I think we do quite a lot in terms of getting the word out about the mainstream Muslim experience. I was raised in Seattle, grew up in the Seattle School District, went to Seattle University for college. I plan to remain in Seattle for the rest of my life. I have a lot invested here in this community, and there are thousands of people like me across the nation who have a lot invested in the U.S. We're working every day to make the nation a stronger nation, and making sure that our neighbors of all backgrounds understand us as we are versus stereotypes that might be out there about Muslims and about people who have the same faith as myself.
Arsalan Bukhari, thank you so much for your time. Great to have you today.
You're welcome.
All right.